At $20 for the pair, Judy and I bought a couple of scalped tickets to history. It's been a slow process, but over the past several decades, I started to embrace another theory of quantum mechanics. I wonder if I have died multiple times and managed in each incident to move to a different multiverse. One where, instead of dying, I miraculously live on in a world exactly like the one I previously lived in, except my father managed to swerve the caddy back into our lane and avoid a head-on collision with a tractor-trailer. I wasn't killed by muggers on 14th Street and 5th Avenue. I didn't die when my plane crashed at Van Nuys Airport. And most recently, the elk I hit doing 70 miles an hour on Interstate 80, 40 miles east of North Platte, Nebraska, didn't kill me. Or maybe there are no multiple universes, and I'm just very lucky. Of course, luck can be a subjective thing. There's the story of a Japanese man who was visiting Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, when the United States dropped the first atomic bomb on that city. He survived the nuclear explosion. Over the next 3 days, he managed to walk, bike, and hitchhike the 400 kilometers back to his hometown of Nagasaki, whereupon the United States dropped an atomic bomb on that city. The man survived. So are we calling this guy the luckiest man in the world, surviving 2 nuclear bombs? Or should we consider him the unluckiest, the only man on Earth to be in the 2 places that have experienced the devastation of nuclear war? I've been thinking about how it happened that I turned out the way I did, which, from certain perspectives, could be considered healthy and successful. I am, by all accounts, one of the most neurotic people on the planet. Matt Lauer on the Today Show told me I was the most neurotic person he had ever interviewed. Larry David, no slouch when it comes to neurosis, and I once had a shouting match past Barry Diller and Donald J. Trump across the power breakfast room at the Lowe's Regency Hotel in New York City, arguing about who was more neurotic. I was having breakfast with Chris Meledandri, pitching my idea for an animated movie called Dinosaurs vs. Aliens, which he wasn't interested in. I hadn't seen Larry, who was at the opposite side of the restaurant, when I heard his distinctive voice. "Sonnenfeld, you claim you're more neurotic than me, and there you are having eggs with yolks, butter on your bread, and bacon? Extra crispy," I yelled back. Larry and I only casually knew each other, but we were both friends of Cheryl Hines, who played Larry's wife on Curb Your Enthusiasm and acted in several films I directed. We had each asked Cheryl which one of us was more neurotic. Cheryl knew that whomever she chose as more mentally unstable, the other guy would be deeply insulted. But after a year's worth of pressure from both sides, Cheryl caved, announcing on Late Night with David Letterman that I was the most neurotic person she had ever met. Somehow, I've managed to live an unusual and amazing life. Was it in spite of or because of what follows? Chapter 1. Barry Sonnenfeld, Call Your Mother. At 2:20 a.m., as January 28th gave way to the 29th, I knew my father was dead. It was 1970, and I was at Madison Square Garden with Judy Dakin. The next morning, I would discover she wore magenta satin panties. At the time of the concert, we were students at Music and Art High School. I was a French horn player, and Judy had gotten in on her piano skills. We were protesting the Vietnam War along with 22,000 other lovers of peace, not war, by attending the Winter Festival for Peace concert. Jimi Hendrix and his band of gypsies were warming up for the second time. Earlier in the evening, Hendrix had been on stage, tuned his guitar, walked around a bit, then, not feeling the vibe, walked off in a huff. It was a tad unsettling. Other musical acts moved up in the queue, including Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Richie Havens, The Rascals, Harry Belafonte,